feeling lost? You're not alone. Actually, it looks like many people feel this way. Even I spam my Instagram followers with feeling directionless thoughts, but what if everything is not that bad? What if you're not as lost as you think? What if you are just 4 questions away from clearing the fog and seeing that you are actually on the right path? Hi, my name is Luminita, and for the past few months, just like you, I felt super lost. At least I thought I was. Actually, I remember sitting on my bed working and being in tremendous pain and frustration, realizing that I didn't enjoy my life at all. Even more, I didn't like my job, the job that I adored. I didn't like it anymore. I didn't want to do it anymore. But I couldn't just quit it because there were so many people and events that would be impacted by my decision. And quite frankly, I was terrified to quit my job because what else? If not this job, what else can I do? Leaving that job that I thought was my dream job made me feel completely hopeless, directionless, just lost. So after countless super long walks, meditations, pages and pages of journaling, mindless social media scrolling, and random Netflix binge watching, I booked the time on my calendar and went to grab coffees with myself. I know it sounds super strange, but after taking time, having a serious adult talk with myself and answering 4 painfully obvious questions, I suddenly realized that although it might have had gotten a little bit foggy, I was not as lost as I thought, and I had hope. So go on a walk or a drive or just make yourself super cozy, because you need to be super honest with yourself. Ready? And the very first question that I asked myself, and you should ask yourself too, is, quite frankly, how many jobs or career paths have you actually tried? And this comes to my, at the time, terrifying thought of, I can't lose that job because if not this, what else? I had the job that I really thought was the dream job, and then I realized it wasn't, which made me question so many things about myself, about my goals, about my career path. And then I asked myself, let's just rewind. How many career paths have I tried? What information do I have in answering or to answer the question, what else? And I realized I actually switched 7 jobs in the past 7 years. Well, 6 because one of them I didn't quit, I got fired. But I realized that all of those jobs, although they were more or less in the same industry, it was marketing and media production, so a lot of online work, all of the positions were super different. I tried so many aspects of that whole industry that I could say for sure I liked marketing, but I would hate to be a social media manager or a CMO for my entire life. Now, with this whole information, I might not know yet what exactly I want to do next, but I know for sure 100% what I don't like, what aspects of work I really don't enjoy, and what aspects of work I do enjoy. So yeah, if you just had only 1 or 2 jobs so far, or all of them were more or less the same, of course to the question, what else, you get super terrified. But let me tell you something, you're not lost. You are unexperienced, because there's so much more out there. And yes, it looks like a lot and nothing at the same time, but with every job, you need to understand what you like, what aspects of the job. You don't have to like the whole job, but what aspects do you like and what drives you crazy, what you cannot stand. And these are the puzzle pieces that you need to slowly build a great, very clear picture of what to do next or in your life in general. The second question that hit me personally super hard was, realistically, how many options do you actually have? I think a lot of people, me inclusively, are mixing up the things you could do and want to do or would enjoy to do. And if right now you are in deep debt and you need money as quickly as possible, then yes, go ahead, think what you can do and go make that money. But I guess if you're watching this video, you're not in that survival state. You are in the lost in the option state. So, do you actually have all those options? Let me give you an example. With my bachelor's degree in business and management, I could do so many things. I could start a master's in the same direction, maybe in business law. I could do another bachelor's degrees. I could work in accounting freelance or for a company. I could work with taxes, HR, marketing, social media marketing, print marketing, sales. Literally, with my bachelor's degrees, the opportunities and options are almost endless. Of course, it feels terrifying. I'm sure you've heard about the paradox of choice. The more options you have, the more dissatisfied you are with what you've picked. And actually, I've picked that study program because I wanted to leave myself more options on the table. Now, when I look at that list, I realize I could do many things, but there is only one, literally only one that I want to do at this stage of my life. So if you feel like you are drowning in opportunities or things that you could do, ask yourself, what out of that entire list do you actually want to do? What will make your life happy and fulfilled? And when you do that, trust me, that list will look completely differently. The third question might be obvious, but really, answer it. Do you plan to do the same exact job for the next 50 years? If you are preparing yourself for taking a decision that will impact entire 50 years in advance, if you are about to sign a contract that is irrevocable, then hell yeah, you feel terrified. Of course, right now it feels scary to sign something that you cannot change at all and you have to do for the next 50 years. But if this is not the case, and I assume you are not about to sign such a contract, the majority, or actually all jobs in the world are quittable. You can change jobs. You can do that after a week, you can do that after a month, you can do this after a year, after 10 years. You can change positions inside a company. There are so many options out there. And yes, I know that it's super painful to constantly change jobs because yes, the process of searching for positions, applying, being interviewed, the onboarding process, all of that is super painful. But so is the feeling of being stuck and lost. The difference between these two, though, is that the first one creates information and the second one doesn't. And the last but definitely not least question made me not only rethink a few concepts that were very, very deep in my mind, but also helped me make the first step. If money wasn't a factor at all, what would you like to do? And the second question to that is this a waste of time? I think a lot of people, again, me inclusively, because this whole video is about my experience and how I got unstuck and realized that I was not as lost as I thought. Anyways, I think a lot of people, the reactions, fight, flight, or freeze. Well, a lot of people freeze. They stay and they wait because they feel like the moment they move, the time starts ticking and that they have to rush into having success, because if they do something and it's a failure, whatever failure might mean, but that's a completely different topic that we can come back to in a different video if you want. Anyways, if they fail, then they've wasted all this time that they could have invested into something else, and then they feel behind their peers and a failure and blah, blah, blah. There are very high chances that right now you are missing on two very important points. Number one, being frozen in inaction is the actual waste of time. Nobody paused the game, nobody stopped the timer. While you are frozen and are afraid to take a decision, any decision, while you are lost, the world out there is happening. People are moving, opportunities are created and taken advantage of. And number two, no time in action is wasted because it is traded for experience and information. As long as you are gathering experience and information, you don't waste your time. You are collecting, remember those puzzle pieces? You are collecting them. You are collecting yourself and the puzzle pieces to create this beautiful image of the next job or the career path of your dreams. I'm sorry to say it out loud, but yes, there are people out there who pretty early on in their lives have already figured out what they wanted to do. And yes, there are people over there who met their future spouses in the 4th grade, and ever since they sat next to each other, they never separated, and now they're happy and married and having a great life. Yes, these people exist. But you know what? Over there are also people like you and me. People who have always had so many interests that they couldn't just pick one. People who are not ready nor comfortable to settle for something that was told, given, is conventional, or just okay. So, you, my dear, are not lost. You are curious. You are growing. So stop searching and start exploring.